Hi, my name is Alexandra Jura. I'm a veterinary pathologist and I'm passionate about digital pathology. I had the chance to speak at the annual meeting of the Association of Clinical Scientists in Hershey, PA, and I wanted to share the presentation I held there with all my YouTube subscribers, which is currently no subscribers, 0 people, because that's my first video, but with my future subscribers. So let me tell you about artificial intelligence in pathology practice and how advanced we really are. We know that there is a shortage of pathologists in the world, and AI would possibly save time of pathologists, and they would be able to help more patients. So where do we start? I'm going to introduce you to the subject. We're going to talk about pathology informatics terminology. What is the current status of AI in pathology? What are challenges in biomedical image analysis? What is the Camelyon challenge? What's a challenge design? Camelyon challenge is the most famous one in pathology. What tools are available and which are not? And what are the hurdles for AI applications in digital pathology? So let me start with some introduction. We are kind of bombarded with artificial intelligence and digitalization of pathology on pathology conferences. The accuracy of the AI models often comes very close and sometimes exceeds inter and intrapathologist variability. And terms such as machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, they increasingly are being used in pathology context. So the question is, are we approaching a new era where AI will dominate pathology, or is it still a long way off? Let me start with the terminology to understand it better. What is artificial intelligence? It is a branch of computer science about systems which can learn from data. So we encounter AI every time we touch any of our mobile devices. And examples here would be Google predictive searches. When we start typing something to look it up in Google, we get a suggestion, and usually these suggestions are correct. And this is AI product recommendations on Amazon. This is also artificial intelligence when we buy something and we get suggestions of similar products, or for example, we get this message, customers who bought this also bought that, and it suggests us different products. Music recommendations by Spotify based on the songs that we already liked, and Google Maps fastest route that is based on the current available traffic information when we are using it as a navigation system already. Based on the current traffic information, Google suggests a faster route. What is machine learning? This is a branch of AI that is based on the idea that computers can learn from data as humans learn from experience, and then they can make decisions about data without human interactions. We have 3 types of machine learning: supervised learning based on labeled data, unsupervised learning based on grouping unlabeled data points with similar features together, and reinforcement learning, where the user of the algorithm or the model gives the model feedback on what was labeled incorrectly. What is random forest? Random forest is one of the most popular supervised machine learning algorithms. It's a forest of decision trees. These do not tend to perform so fantastic in pathology. What is deep learning? This is a subfield of machine learning in which the models resemble neural networks of the human brain. And those models within deep learning are called artificial neural networks. And an example or a type of artificial neural networks are convolutional neural networks, and these have dominated the deep learning space. Computer vision is a field of computer science trying to mimic human vision, and patching is dividing large pathology images into small patches. And to better picture this, we need to know how big such an image is. So a whole slide image is 15 gigabytes, more or less. What is 15 gigabytes? It's like three 3-hour long high quality Netflix movies, just one slide, one digitalized pathology slide. So of course, to process them quickly, they need to be divided in smaller squares, and these squares are called patches, and the process is called patching. Graphical processing units are necessary for quick processing of pathology images. These are chips on the computer's graphic cards designed to rapidly process graphics. They're used in gaming, video gaming computers, and are indispensable for fast processing of whole slide images. Computer-aided diagnosis is when clinicians use computer-defined regions to assist them in making the diagnosis. This is already in routine use in radiology for the detection of breast cancer foci in mammograms, and a potential use in pathology would be pre-screening of lymph node sections in cancer metastasis. This is a tedious task, takes a lot of time. There are many sections of the lymph nodes, and pathologists have to screen them under the microscope. It would save significantly time if they could have them suggested by the computer and then just say yes, no. What is data augmentation? This is a way of getting more data when we don't have enough data. And on this example, on the left side of the screen, we have 4 mitotic figures. They have been slightly altered, shifted a little bit, and we get from those 4 mitotic figures, we get 16 mitotic figures. So we increased our data set from 4 points to 16 data points, and these are seen as by the computer as separate data points. So we don't have enough data, we can augment them to have more for the training of the system. What are probability heat maps? This is a color-coded way of visualizing the classification results of a deep learning model. And on one end of the scale is corresponding to a high 100% probability of a feature, in this case of the tissue being a tumor, and the other end of the scale, the blue one in this case, is corresponding to 0 probability. So we can appreciate that those all red regions, it's probably tumor, and the regions in between, there is lower probability of tumor. So to visualize how those terms relate to each other, the broadest term is artificial intelligence. And the machine learning is a part of artificial intelligence, where we have the patching, random forest, and deep learning is part of machine learning. We have artificial neural networks, convolutional neural networks as an example of them. We have probability heat maps and data augmentation. Computer vision is the discipline that uses all those models. GPUs, graphical processing units, enable us to process whole slide images fast, and in the end the algorithm can help us with making the diagnosis, and we have computer-aided diagnosis. On conferences and in publications on LinkedIn as well, we are surrounded with all the AI news. But in pathology, but what is the current status of artificial intelligence in pathology? So as of today, May 18th, 2019, there is no FDA-approved AI solution for pathology on the market. There are initiatives supporting and accelerating the development of AI applications, like the FDA Digital Health Innovation Action Plan, Digital Health Software Pre-Certification Program, Pre-Cert, and in different disciplines, AI already made it officially with an FDA clearance or approval, like in diabetes research, in cardiovascular and brain disease treatment, in radiology, but not in pathology yet. And in pathology publications about AI, all those publications come from R&D departments, either academia or industry, different companies, but it's research. So to foster AI and to encourage people to develop AI solutions, challenges in biomedical image analysis have been established. And what are these? These are competitions aiming to compare new and existing algorithms in biomedical image analysis. And researchers are very strongly encouraged to take part in those challenges in order to promote and contribute to AI development. The participants try to solve a stated problem on a common data set, and they can use a solution of choice and are required to publish their results. So the most famous challenge in pathology was Camelyon challenge, organized in 2016 and 2017. And this and other challenges are gathered on the COMIC platform, COMIC standing for Consortium of Open Medical Image Computing, and they are called Grand Challenges. They are the most famous in biomedical image analysis, but there are also other platforms that are hosting them, and these include CodaLab, Covalic, or Virtual Skeleton. And let me tell you about the Camelyon Challenge, what it was about. It, as I said, was one of the most famous challenges in pathology, maybe not in biomedical image analysis. There are different ones that I'm not aware of, but in pathology, this one was the most famous one. It was hosted in the Netherlands by the Diagnostic Image Analysis Group and Department of Pathology of the Radboud University Medical Center in Nijmegen. And as I said, there were two editions, Camelyon 16 and Camelyon 17, in 2016 and 2017, and almost 100 submissions for both of these challenges were done. Both from academia and from companies. And the problem here was detection of breast cancer metastasis in whole slide images of lymph nodes. The participants were working with the same training and test set of 1,399 hematoxylin and eosin stained lymph node sections. And they were free to use any image analysis method to best solve this problem. So they didn't have to use deep learning. But it just so happened that the winners used deep learning, so this performed the best. So this is how the challenge is designed, not only the pathology ones, but the other ones as well. Meaningful tasks need to be defined. In this case, that was breast cancer metastasis detection in lymph nodes. Representative data needs to be gathered. In this case, it was labeled whole slide images. A reference standard needs to be defined. That was the diagnosis of a pathologist and their annotations. And a discriminative evaluation metric needs to be determined. And in this case, the consensus of the algorithms with the pathologist's input was measured by Cohen's kappa. And the participants are required to write a peer-reviewed publication. So what are the tools that are available and what are not available? There's no FDA-approved AI solutions for pathology, like I said, but why is there not? We will see later. But for research use only, image analysis software companies are starting to incorporate AI modules in their solutions, where a pathologist or a user can annotate target structures to train the model, and later the model detects those structures automatically. For example, the pathologist or the user annotates glomeruli on one slide or on one part of the slide, and then the algorithm detects the rest of the glomeruli on the other part of the slide or on the rest of the slides. These solutions are currently available from different companies like Indica Labs, Visiopharm, and Aphoria. And these tools incorporate random forest or deep learning modules for image analysis, but as I said, they're for research use only, nothing for clinical use so far. And why not? Why is there something AI-based in other disciplines and not in pathology yet? So there are some hurdles that are pathology specific. And these include lack of validated tools, as we already said, lack of labeled data. We said that the machine learning supervised machine learning needs a large amount of labeled data. This would mean that the pathologist, instead of looking at slides, would have to go and start annotating whatever structures they want to have detected, and it's not going to happen because they are supposed to diagnose patients and they use slides for that, the non-digitalized slides. So lack of labeled data, high complexity of histological images. In comparison to radiology or cardiology, the complexity of histological images is much, much higher. We have different colors, textures, tissues, organs, and this multiplied by each other contributes to this high complexity of histological images. The dimensionality of pathology diagnostic problems is also high. And the example that we had, the detection of neoplastic foci in lymph node section, is just one binary problem that was used for the competition, but the dimensionality of primary diagnosis in pathology is a lot higher. There is a different pattern recognition involved, and incorporation of many different processes visible on the slide and different data available about the patient. Another problem or a hurdle is that pathologists are the gold standard, or they are generating the ground truth. So the algorithm can only be as good as a pathologist. And also pathologists tend to differ. If an algorithm is going to be close to what one pathologist says, does it mean that it's a good one if another pathologist says something else? So that's a hurdle. And the affordability of computational power and storage space is a problem. Those GPUs that are required for processing these huge slides cost a lot more than a normal PC, a normal computer. So that's a hurdle, and we need to store somewhere those digital slides, enormous amounts of data. So that's another hurdle. So to sum up, AI is affecting our lives every time we touch a mobile device, phone, whatever, computer. It has officially entered various medical fields, but in pathology it still remains restricted to research use only. There are many pathology-specific hurdles to overcome, the most important being enormous size of pathology images and complexity of morphological patterns. The regulatory pathways have been already paved by other disciplines, which is good, and the FDA officially supports the Digital Health Initiative with their Digital Health Innovation Action Plan and Digital Health Software Pre-Certification Program. So to answer the question that we asked at the beginning, is it gonna happen? Yes, it's gonna happen soon. AI is coming soon. We're not quite there yet, but it's coming soon. So pathologists should prepare. They can prepare by going digital in their labs, by recognizing where AI will add value. So it may not add value to every step of the pathology workflow. It's crucial to recognize where it would and apply it there. They can prepare by educating themselves. There are courses available. One course, for example, from Digital Pathology Association, an online course that pathologists can take. And they should proactively engage with AI initiatives, be it the challenges like the Camelyon challenge, or cooperations with academic partners, with industry, with different companies. Thank you very much for listening to me. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, please click like. Please click subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to write an email, and go and check out my blog, digitalpathologyconsulting.com, where there's an article about this presentation as well. And I will also put this presentation for download if you would like the slides. Thank you. Bye. Here are the references in case you want to go back to the primary literature or follow the links for the things that I mentioned.